It's time for In Her Shoes. I'm Tiffany Dowling.
And I'm Shelly Davis-Milak.
Today we're going to be talking about healthy living, something that I think most Americans struggle a bit with. You know, they don't know how to stay healthy, and we're always coming up with new and exciting things out there to try and, you know, make it through.
Absolutely. I want to start by saying we are not experts. That's a public service announcement. We're here to learn just like you.
Right. Don't listen to us. Listen to the experts.
That's right.
I know that you already know this, but I have never met a diet plan that I didn't like. I will try every single one. I will even do it again just to see if I messed it up the first time.
I love that about you. I mean, ever since I've known you for 10 years now. And you really, I
really
but
do.
You can stick to a diet. I'm kind of,
You know, I can stick to a diet for a while, and that's the whole problem with diets, unfortunately. I think it's a whole, you know, you have to really change the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not willing to change the lifestyle, you sort of go up and down like a yo-yo like I do, generally.
I look at it like this. I think, you know, I'd like to lose a little bit of weight, but do I want to lose a little bit of weight more than I want to have this? And it's a constant thing. And then I'll look in the mirror and go, you know what? You look pretty darn good.
She does.
You look pretty darn good. Go ahead and have it.
Oh, Shelly.
I can go to the whole thing. Life's short. Eat cake.
well, I certainly can eat cake, and I do like to eat cake, which is probably part of the problem. I am one of those people, and this is why I can't stay on something long term, because I'm a stickler. So if I'm on a program, I definitely want it to do exactly what it says,
right,
and lose the weight. And so I can't. I'm not one of those people, and there are tons of people out there like this that can just have like a bite.
Right.
And they can be satisfied. So they can have a piece of cake and they can take 2 bites and then they can push it away.
Right.
I don't do that.
I don't believe they're those sorts of people.
I don't
believe it. I remember reading, or I think it was reading a story, watching it, I don't know, whatever it was fiction. And it was one of these supermodels, and she said, oh, I'm just not that hungry. When I go to the movie with my kids, if I have 3 kernels of popcorn, I'm satisfied. And I'm sitting here going,
that's ridiculous.
You know, that's like saying, yes, these high heels are so comfortable. I could run a marathon in them.
That's not true either. No, you can't. And I don't believe that. No, I don't believe that, you know, there's somebody who's like, yeah, I had 3 kernels and I'm totally satisfied. That's ridiculous. Who can only eat that much popcorn?
Right. Especially movie theater.
Well, and this is the thing. I can't even start eating the popcorn.
Right.
That's the problem. If I start it, then I want to finish it.
Right.
The big bucket.
Well, you know, we took our kids to the movie theater the other day, and I was focused. I was going to really watch what I was eating. So we go to the movie theater, and my husband always sits on one end, and I sit on the other end, and the kids are in the middle. So we can't share popcorn, because last time that happened, I didn't get any. Thanks, Doug Milak. So we each get our own popcorn, and I almost had the whole thing finished before the movie started.
You know, that's going to happen. You know what? I think that it's very interesting, and one of the things that I find that can be a challenge and a good thing is they're starting to put calories on everything. And so you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to run for like 6 hours later in order to get this off of my body.
Right. I don't look. I go like this.
You have those horse blinders on?
I have those horse blinders on. All I can see is the cake.
I get it.
But no, I mean, I do try to do things. Obviously, now that I have the puppy, I have to go out and do things every day, walk every day. I do try to, I'm a runner on hiatus. I go through, I'm either running marathons or I'm I don't know, eating McDonald's. There's kind of nothing in the middle.
There's nothing in the middle. Well, one of the things, I'm really on a workout regimen right now, and I'm sticking to it every day. I'm doing something, and but I visited my aunt recently, and she just had knee surgery, and she had a knee replacement. And let me just say that the scar was, I do not want one of those. I don't want a knee replacement.
So what do I have to do to prevent that?
Well, I'm doing less running. I'm doing more elliptical. I'm doing more like walking, you know, less jarring to my system, because I'm really nervous about that.
Right.
In like 5 years, I don't want to have a knee replaced.
No, I mean, you want to keep your Tina Turner legs.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be talking to some people today that are going to point us probably in the right direction.
In the right direction.
Hopefully they won't point out what we're doing wrong.
They will.
But maybe they'll point out some things that we could do a little bit differently, a little bit better.
Yes. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. Stick with us. In Her Shoes will be back in just a moment.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. We are going to be talking with Dr. Judi Brown Clark. She's a silver medalist from 1984.
I'm so excited to have you here, Dr. Judi, especially because you let me touch your silver medal. I may have to take a picture with it before you leave.
Just make sure that you get it back, because you never know.
I can still run, so I promise I'll get it back.
I think it would just be good. Take my picture with it, maybe make up a story, save it for a few generations.
There we go. We can Photoshop a title underneath it.
Yeah,
right.
That'd be the only way she would win a silver medal.
I mean, I could win silver medals and other things.
Right.
Can't we all?
Cupcake eating contests. I mean, there's so many. We had,
so
you
many.
so
How
many
was
things.
it winning the silver medal?
It was really, really exciting. It was nerve-wracking because it was in the U.S. versus across the seas, but it was a very exciting time.
And tell our viewers what your race was that you won.
Okay, so I ran the 400-meter hurdles, which is one lap with 10 hurdles, and we had just the entire world was there, and it was just very exciting.
The 1984 Olympics was where?
That was in Los Angeles, California.
Oh, nice.
Right.
So
It really wasn't nice because...
It wasn't?
No, because I think if you do well, it's really nice, and if you don't, you share
you're
that
at-
with... Right.
Then you're at home.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
And they
right.
escort you off the property. No, they
Right.
don't.
Right. With a camera. Right.
Well, it's interesting because obviously the Olympics are going on right now. If you didn't know, get up from
They
under
are.
your rock.
Right.
It's so crazy because when something bad happens, I just feel so much empathy for all of those athletes who have just basically they've been working so hard,
Right.
and then something happens, and then there's a camera right here,
Right.
and it's like how do you feel right now? And they're crying or they're sad, and it's just like.
Right.
I think, one of the wonderful things about athletics is it imitates life. But the unfortunate thing is that the lessons learned are so public.
Right.
And your opportunity to rebound is real time and very short because you've got this, the public is right there. But I think that's one of the things that makes athletes so resilient is their ability to adjust and move forward.
It's really interesting with the Olympics, like you were saying, the cameras are right there. But what I found fascinating, like with the whole Michael Phelps thing, and he didn't
Right.
win what they thought he would win, but another American won, which is great.
Right.
But instead of focusing on, hey, congratulations, what did you do to train? It's like, how do you feel beating Michael Phelps? What do you think Michael Phelps is
know.
thinking? And it's like,
Yeah.
give him his moment of glory.
Right, exactly. It's I think that we've kind of as a society we focus so much on competition and rivalry and so on that we don't really relish in our accomplishments.
Absolutely.
And so it really put Michael as the bar. And so he was really brought into somebody else's glory moment, and it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, although he has worked really hard and deserves all of the accolades that he has received.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But each person should have their own moment in the sun.
That's right.
That's
we only
cool.
have a couple minutes left.
Yep.
Can you tell us what it's like to train for something as huge
I
as the
can't
Olympics?
even imagine.
I think for training, it's really as you become very in tune with your own body. So you really understand. We're gonna look at that later. Is understanding what you need to do, what kind of sacrifices that you need to make, and I think knowing yourself is something that just becomes a lifelong partnership, and so it's just it's just very useful not only for track but in life.
Sure. So you were in your early 20s when you won the silver.
Yes.
How much time had you been preparing for this?
For me, it was really different because I never really thought I had the capacity to go that far and be that competitive on the international level. So really it was each competition I just went to the next step and I focused on that particular step and then went to the next step, and it was kind of very linear that way.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't, the Tiger Woods, we're going to put you in golf when you're 4 and work 8 hours a day at it until you're...
No, at 4 I was running around playing tag,
Preparing
with it,
as she was
doing the
jumping
thing. I
over
was-
rocks
exactly.
and on
it
the
was like
playground.
any other child, and really had no fathom that I had any kind of talent that would be really competitive at that level.
Well, that is such an inspiring story because I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, the talent that's within them, and for you to recognize that and do it on this sort of a level is really, really amazing.
Yes.
And I'm also pre-Title IX, and so there weren't a lot of opportunities for women to actually
very
participate in
interesting.
organized sports. So I think that kind of played into really what I thought as opportunities in the future.
That's great. Coming up next, we're going to be talking to Judi a little bit more about her Olympic experience And maybe she's going to let Tiffany and I wear the medal. Who knows? We'll see. Stick with us. Welcome back to In Her Shoes. As you can see, your favorite shoe collector and a silver Olympian is here with you.
Right.
Thanks so much for letting me try this on.
Crying foul.
I love it. It was so great. So now you have a story behind your medal.
I do have a story behind my medal. I think that most people, when they look at it, it looks a little dingy and it's not quite as polished and shiny. And the one thing, well, maybe it is still shiny. The one thing that I like about it is it has just thousands of fingerprints on it, and the ribbon's starting to get a little bit of
She didn't say lip print.
And so what I love about that is I want it to be very approachable, and there's been so many hands on that, and that's what it's about. That's really what Olympism is about. It's like really sharing that Olympic spirit.
It is beautiful, and
Thank
must be
you.
such a prized possession. So where do you keep this in your home?
I keep that with my prized socks in my sock drawer. So it's
Your
a
lucky socks.
My lucky
And
socks.
her medal.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
So you
Right.
never thought about framing it with like a picture of you in a shadow box?
I love me wall? No.
Yeah.
Love me
I
wall.
think
She's been to my house.
I think for me, it's like, it's a part of who I am, and it represents a very large part of who what I've aspired and what I've accomplished. But it's just only a portion of who I am.
Well, speaking of that, so what do you do today? Obviously, we know in 1984, Olympian and forever an Olympian. But what
Much
are you?
thinner,
But what are you doing
I was
today?
in 1984 too.
right? As an embryo. Right now, I'm the diversity director at a National Science Foundation center called Computational Evolution and Action Consortium, Beacon.
Oh,
I can remember Beacon. I will never
Right,
forget
exactly.
that.
No one that knows where I work.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
thank goodness we don't have to remember all of that. Well, that's great. So
Thank
how did
you.
you get into that type of work?
Well, after I transitioned from athletics, I went into academics, and I really wanted to be a change agent and to create change agents. And so I thought the best way to do that is to really work where education is, and to help young students get the skills they need,
great.
and then go out and make a difference.
That's great. That's really wonderful. And I
Thank
know
you.
that you're really active in the Lansing community. I believe
Absolutely.
do you have children here in the Lansing
I
community?
have 3 boys.
Yes,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
That's great. What do they think about all the work that you're doing with the diversity and helping in education?
Your kids never really appreciate what you do. So they're kind of like,
Say
where are
all
you
the
going? Are you not home again?
All right.
So they're very proud of me. And it's wonderful. What I'm very proud about them is that they have that same civic responsibility gene in them. And so that's fantastic.
So,
Yes.
do you stay connected? Are you like fixed to the Olympics when they're on? Do you know any
I do.
local Olympians?
Yeah, there is some very close Olympics like Jordan Weaver, who's in this area
know,
that
so
I've,
great.
So
her
proud of
mother
her.
ran track. Right. So I've never met Jordan personally, but I've talked with her mother.
Nice.
So that's been a really wonderful, a nice connection.
I think it's really great how the community has rallied around Jordan and,
Right.
and really are just, you can tell that everyone is so proud.
Weber fever.
Yes, no, it's great. And she worked so
Absolutely.
hard, and she put her heart and
Absolutely.
soul into all of it. So
Yes.
I'm so glad she's coming back with a gold.
Yes,
Yes,
that's amazing.
Absolutely.
I wonder where she'll
Absolutely.
put her gold medal.
I don't think in her sock drawer.
At least not for a while.
Right, yeah, right. A couple more birthdays she might, but I don't think so. I don't think so.
Not right away.
Right,
I
right.
mean,
no,
I like
that's
the idea
great.
of the
Right.
love me wall. I'm just saying.
I get it.
That's
Right.
so funny. So how do you stay fit?
I do a lot of coaching, and I'm very, very active. So I have a very active lifestyle, and I think that has really what's kind of incorporated into healthy activities. And I'm going to share that with the two of you later.
Oh, I can't wait.
Boy, I
Yes,
can tell
they
you.
can.
It's
It's
going
going to be impressive. I mean, what's going to happen here is something that you will definitely want to see.
I saw some of her moves yesterday, and I fear for you.
As long as it's not hurdles, I may be.
I promise will not be hurdles.
Okay.
Right, I can't do her.
Well, coming up in the next segment, Tiffany and I are actually going to get some health and fitness tips from Dr. Judi Brown. And then maybe in the next segment, I don't know, I may not be here. I may be somewhere resting, or there would be people coming to get me and take me away.
Or we may shoo her away.
Yeah.
One or the other
Who
might
knows?
happen.
We'll just have to wait and see. So stick with us. We're going to have a really great time in the next segment.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. Right now, we're going to get our act together with Dr. Judi Brown Clark, who is going to help us learn a thing or two about how to stay in shape. I'm just saying somebody might need to get moving.
All right, so if I can have you sit on the floor,
Okay,
both
okay.
facing the wall, so your backs are together.
Okay.
And so really with this one is I find that most women have issues with with kind of the wing area. It's kind of where the bra hits.
Yes.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna
Oh.
take this shoe and you're gonna put your arms, you're gonna extend. You're gonna put your arms above. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna arms
Up.
straight up. Hey, whoa, okay. For the less than coordinated, you wear a helmet. So your hands will be right here, your arms right there. You pass it, go down to your knees, back, pass it to your knees. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So that works on that
Feel
arm
burn.
rotation and kind of that little wing area that goes over your
Are we
bra.
still doing this? Sorry.
The next pass is to take it
to me in
sideways.
class.
So you're coming this way, you're passing it to her.
Oh,
Then you
these-
pass this way.
Oh.
Yep.
So-
Exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly. Now go the other direction. Right.
This way?
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Somebody is holding up the rhythm.
I wanted to show
Okay.
Right.
hard.
Exactly. Okay. So that kind of gives you. It works on your arms. It works on your core, which is a lot of when we have just our little bit of love handles there.
This is a tougher
certain
workout than I
people's
thought.
handles are bigger. So then on this one, now this is on your back. So we're gonna get 3 shoes. We're gonna get shoes that have bling because we just
right.
deserve that.
Right,
So give
okay.
you go. Since I have silver, I will take the silver shoe.
All right.
All right, so on this one, your knees are bent, put your bling on your stomach, hands behind your head,
How come mine lands a little bit higher on my stomach? Okay, we'll forget about that.
just because it gives that 3D effect, right? And then you just come up,
Ooh.
count to 10, and you're squeezing your cheeks. And what this helps is your hamstring, your quads, your glutes,
Ow.
and
I'm already shaking.
right.
Woo.
And the whole point is so your shoe doesn't move.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
then the other, if you're really feeling it, then you bring a leg up.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'm not feeling it so much.
Right.
All right.
Exactly. How about that? Exactly. And then you come down, bring your other leg up.
What if one leg doesn't want to go up as much as the other leg?
So
It means that you
exactly.
have to work harder.
Can I get a camera on my sweating,
And so
please?
I think actually we kind of got a crotch shot there. So the whole good thing about this is it works on your cores, and it's something that you can do very easily. You can do it in your office. You can do it if you have a door, not a cubicle, or you can do, or you look like there's some issues happening in the workplace.
I told
Or
you I
can
couldn't
do
get back up. I'm
while
sweating.
you're what?
I'm sweating profusely right now. Okay.
And so those are just some things that you can do while you're sitting at your watching television and so on.
Yeah, that's
as well as-
awesome.
I sit on the medicine ball. I don't sit in a chair, and so I'm constantly
At your
working on-
office?
at my office.
Nice.
So you're always, shifting
Chairs are
your weight.
so expensive.
And
Yeah.
so, right.
So we can just
So all I need
we
is
can
like,
just put medicine balls
who
in
needs
everyone's
props? So you
station.
could just
Right.
put big, huge medicine
Right.
balls and be absolutely fine.
I
Yeah.
like that.
I think these are great tips. I really appreciate it. And
You're
then
welcome.
I want you guys to see how much I'm sweating right now. This
I
is a
was
very
going to
difficult
say, it's
workout.
like, I don't know if the camera's hotter over there or,
Well, or
Very
if
difficult
someone had to.
workout.
or someone needs to take that shoe home.
We're going to freshen up and come back with Dr. Portnoy and Dr. 2.
That's going to be great. Shoes, more than just looking beautiful walking around.
That's right. Stick with us.
Hello, Mid-Michigan. It's your 2 favorite shoe collectors. I'm Tiffany Dowling.
And I'm Shelly Davis-Milak. Join us right here on My 18 each week for In Her Shoes.
In Her Shoes, Thursdays at noon on My 18.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. We are going to be talking healthy living, and we're going to be starting with a couple of lovely dentists who I know that you can appreciate because this girl.
I have a tooth obsession. And the great thing is they're not going to make us do any working out or sweating.
Phew. So let's,
Tip,
yeah.
do not drink hot coffee before a workout segment. In case it ever happens
so
to you.
fun for me.
Yes, we're going to be talking one of our favorite things, my favorite things, which is teeth. We have Dr. Portnoy and Dr. 2 with us. Thank you, ladies.
Yes,
Thanks for having us
coming.
here.
So you're dentists.
Yes.
Did this start out with a tooth obsession at a young age, like me?
Not for me.
Not for you.
No, I think I was more wanting to be a physician like my dad.
Okay.
So I changed senior year in college. I changed completely. I took a year off and decided what I really wanted to do.
Did you backpack around Europe?
No,
No.
couldn't afford that. Yeah, even with the backpack, I couldn't afford it. So yeah,
Like I couldn't even afford the backpack.
yeah, I couldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So how about you?
I want to go into dentistry because when I had braces in high school, I look at teeth all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, so
That's how this one.
Yes.
Did you have braces?
I had braces, and it was funny because my orthodontist said I have never had anyone, because I had to like have the little twist retainer that I had to twist every day and all these things. And he said, I've never actually had a teenager do that, like every day.
Yeah.
He's like, so I say it's going to take a year because they're going to do it like once a quarter.
Right.
But it only took me a little while, and then I had braces. So
Nice. Good for you.
Thank
and
you.
Look at the beautiful teeth that she has. So
Responsible.
wonderful. So tell us about your history. So have you always been friends? Have you always known each other?
We met when we were in
dental school, 97.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where did you go to dental school?
at University of Detroit Mercy.
Okay.
great.
So what brought you to the Lansing area?
My parents lived in Okemos, and so we originally, when we graduated, we wanted to be practicing together. But then I moved back home, and then I said, "Hey, you want to come up here and practice with me?" And that's what
Yep,
happened.
and
I'm always interested. I know quite a few dentists, and I'm always interested in how they get their practice started. Was yours already started by another dentist and you took it over?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the way it works a lot, isn't it? So you came up and started in someone else's practice?
We were an associate at another practice,
Okay.
and then this practice came up for sale.
Okay.
And it's usually the way you do it is you want to be an associate of somebody that's going to retire. But we just bought it fresh out, didn't know anything about the business of dentistry, just knowing how to do dentistry.
Right.
So that was the hard part, just taking over a practice.
Well, I think that is one of the misconceptions is that, when you go into medical school or dental school, that you don't really get a ton of experience on how to run a business. That business component, which is really important when you get out there and you're actually running your day-to-day business.
Yeah.
You know how to do all of the actual work, but making sure that you're getting paid and that helps to live. So was
does
that
help.
was that a tough process for you?
It was.
It is for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the staff.
Yeah, to
Right.
manage.
And to do like payroll and
Billing.
IRS and insurances. Yeah, IRS. And, yeah. So
How many people do you employ?
we currently have, I think,
Six.
six.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
And so how long have your practice is in Okemos?
Yes.
So how long have you had that practice there?
Since 2005.
Okay, so a good
So we
long
bought
time.
that practice. It was a satellite practice,
Mm-hmm.
and then a year later we bought another practice, and it was another satellite practice, and trying to merge those two together.
That's great.
And yeah, so now we're done buying practices. Yeah.
All set, so don't call.
Never
Yeah.
say never, never say never.
Yeah, I think we're done. Yeah.
Well, that's great. So I wanted to share that if you hadn't seen, in May of 2012, Dr. Portnoy and Dr. 2 were on the cover of Capital Area Women's Lifestyle magazine. And don't they look lovely?
You do.
Yes.
You look
So-
more lovely in person even.
Absolutely.
Have it. It's great to meet you
So
guys.
was it fun being on the cover?
It was.
Yes.
I'm glad.
Yeah, we still have people come up to us and say, "Hey, I read your
Oh,
article."
good.
Oh, that's so
I'm glad to
great.
hear
But then
it.
they joke about saying, "Well, did you guys pay them to put you on the magazine?" So
They didn't. They're wonderful all in their own right. They don't need to pay us for that.
That's right. Well, we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Portnoy and Dr. 2 when we come back in the next segment. Maybe they'll give us some tips for healthy living with our teeth, because your teeth have a lot more to do with your body than you may know. We'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. We are continuing our conversation with Dr. Portnoy and Dr. 2. They are two dentists working together in Okemos, and they're going to help us understand a little bit more about how it's a lot healthier to keep track of your teeth and go to the dentist and do all those important things. And Shelley will attest to that.
I will. I'm not a dentist, but I play one on TV.
No, she doesn't.
I never miss my dental appointments. It's so important. But really, people don't realize how much having healthy teeth, or the lack of having healthy teeth and gums, how that can impact your total body.
Yeah, because a lot of us, the only time we go to a dentist when you're in pain. Once you see a dentist when you're in pain, it causes you have more problem. It costs
Right.
more. So we more educate patient, more prevention.
Yes.
See your dentist regularly every 6 months, or even, you depend on your condition, but it's help for your overall body. So it's related to heart disease.
That's a big one, the heart disease. Can you explain that in just, a small?
Well, it's the bacteria that's in your mouth. It's also connected to the bacteria of the heart. So if you have gum disease, the bacteria tends to go down to your heart, and then that's what causes people to have heart problems.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when people are coming in regularly, so what are you doing? How are you checking to make sure that all of those things are in line? The gum disease, is it just a visual type thing?
No, it's more, we do a lot of diagnostic too, like where we measure, actually physically measure. We have a tool that measures we call it the pockets around each tooth.
Oh, yeah, when the dentist
Yeah.
pokes their gums.
Yeah.
Why do you pull up the tongue? My lady always grabs my tongue and goes, "Rrr, rrr."
She's trying to stop you from talking. Even I get that.
We do what we call oral cancer screening.
Okay.
And we also check your blood pressure. A lot of
Okay,
time,
wow.
Really?
Yeah.
a lot of us have high blood pressure that we don't even know. So that helps.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
It's
fascinating.
fascinating.
So what would you say, I know that there's some people that just, the dentist is fearful. What would you say to them to help get them in the door and take care of themselves?
I think it's just having the motivation to really know the importance of health about your teeth. A lot of time, by the time they come in, there's so much work in it that they end up spending more time at the dentist than just coming in every two times a year.
Save yourself the pain.
Yeah.
Yourself the
That's
pain.
what we're talking about here.
Can you tell people quickly how they can find out more about you?
We're
Website?
located, our website is okimesdentist.com.
Great. Easy.
Thank you so
That's
much for
great.
coming here, ladies,
Thank
and
you.
spending
Thank
time
you.
with
Wonderful.
us.
Yeah, thank you.
Stick with us. Tiffany and I will be back in just a moment. We're going to share some of our favorite healthy recipes.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. We have been talking healthy living, and I think this segment we're going to be talking about all the recipes that I use when I don't cook.
Tiffany is such a master chef. I mean, she put in this beautiful kitchen a couple years ago. I remember when she put it in.
I love
Actually
it.
went
It's
to a lot of trips
gorgeous.
with her to pick it out. And really, all she needed was a really nice phone for
Right.
takeout. That's all she needed.
It's true. I love, love, love my kitchen, and the reason why it stayed beautiful is that I never use it. It's perfect.
Well, I do a little cooking. I'm nowhere near a master chef. I don't know about you, but I find myself, the things that I eat when I'm out are not the things that I actually make at home. And I don't know exactly what that means.
Explain.
Like if I eat out, I always eat salmon or I eat,
Right.
something really fun. And when I'm at home, it's like chicken
Chicken.
or like spaghetti.
Well, I mean, you have kids.
Right.
So you make things that the kids will eat as well, and obviously when they're small, it's harder to get them to eat good
Right.
things.
Right,
Do
right.
your kids like to eat vegetables?
They do. It's so funny because my princess will eat anything. She'll eat anything, fruits, vegetables, with the exception of broccoli. My 7-year-old
Will eat the broccoli?
will only eat hot broccoli and green beans, no other vegetables.
I wonder what that means about their psyche.
I know.
And who they'll be when they grow up.
So Freudian. so yeah.
I don't have, I don't do a ton of cooking anyway. One of the things that we do a lot of at home in the summer, it's about grilling. So we'll throw whatever out there, kebabs, chicken, steak, whatever it is, salmon. We do a lot of fish. Even though I'm not a huge fish person, there are some. While I was in Hilton Head, on vacation, I had flounder.
Yes, delicious.
Wow, I didn't realize it was so yummy. In fact, I went back the next day
Right.
and got more flounder because it was so great.
Well, the closer you are to where the flounder actually comes from, that's always
Right.
my tip for people.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously we don't really have that situation here, but there it was amazing. You could tell it was just so fresh. It was so great. So from a recipe standpoint, I love vegetables, so I love to do salads. I love tomatoes, almost like to eat them like apples,
yeah.
especially right now
Perfect
when
time.
they're coming right out of the garden. I don't actually have a garden because I don't cook, and so I'm not going to maintain a garden. However, my parents do, and they bring over lots of great vegetables, and so it's great during the summer to have just fresh vegetables.
Sure. I have some staples. I'll do chicken, like a whole cut up chicken. and I'll throw olive oil and a little bit of maple syrup and a cut up sweet potato and onion. Throw that in the oven at 400 for like 75 minutes, 65,
Yeah.
75. Tastes delicious. It's pretty healthy. My kids love it. So I do things that are really simple. Like I substitute the multigrain pasta for the regular pasta.
Right, I think that's great. One of the things that I've found recently and that I would highly recommend to people are to go out and get those steamer bags.
Oh, yeah.
And just, get vegetables quickly. They are so tasty that way. And I can actually make a meal out of Brussels sprouts out of one of those steamer bags.
Oh,
It's just
wow.
like, they're so good. A little salt, a little pepper, good to
yum.
go.
You know what I started doing? Because one of my problems is I'll go to the grocery store, I'll buy all these vegetables, and then you'd think it would take an act of Congress to get me to cut them up. So I had this epiphany the other day. I'm like, hello, spend a little bit more money, get the vegetable tray, buy that, bring it home, and you're spending a little bit more money, but I'm not throwing the vegetables away because I never got around to
and
cutting
hold
them
on,
up.
and they're healthy
And they're
because you actually
healthy.
get them in your body.
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
right, exactly.
it could
So I
be it.
started going to that. So I buy the little mini vegetable tray, and Jessica and I will eat it all the time. Xander will eat hot broccoli, not cold broccoli, so he doesn't partake in that. But just trying to find little ways. I did a game with my kids where they have to check off how many fruits and vegetables
Oh,
they
that's
have
a good.
each day.
That's a good way. I mean, my oldest son was never a vegetable eater. I think he does pretty well now. He's 20, so thank goodness.
Yes.
And he turned out fine. So lack of vegetables didn't totally ruin him.
Right.
However, my youngest son is like, he loves vegetables. If we go, he'll eat salad. He'll, he eats it at home as long as it's cut up.
Right.
It's ready to go. And the same thing with fruits. Like we do a ton of the fruits. I love watermelon in the summer. All the fresh berries. I mean, just, keep them all right there in the bowls or in bags, like easy to take bags.
That's what it's about. It's about convenience.
Well, because everyone's so busy, and that's really, a part of the problem. When my mom was, at home all the time, it was easy for her to make dishes, but now that no one is home, it's a lot tougher.
Exactly. Well, those are our thoughts on healthy living. I'm sure that you have a few. We'd love to hear about them. Go to our Facebook page and tell us what you like to do to stay healthy. Coming up next, we're going to be talking financial facts with our friends from MSU Federal Credit Union. Stay tuned. Welcome back to In Her Shoes. It is time for our financial facts, which is sponsored by MSU Federal Credit Union. I have April Klobus with me today. Hi, April.
Hello, Shelley.
So we're going to talk about something that a lot of people don't necessarily like to talk about. But what I love about financial facts is MSUFCU gives us practical advice that's really going to help us succeed financially. Overdrafts.
Yeah.
It's not like the most exciting
No, it's not.
subject,
No, not at all.
but it's a reality
It is a reality.
of everyday life. So what is an overdraft?
Well, an overdraft is so you have your checking account and maybe you have $100 in it, and maybe at the end of the day you spent $120, and you didn't have enough money in your account, so your account went negative and you overdrafted is what it means. So back in the old days, checks were called drafts, and so you did more of a transaction than you had, the money for. So that meant you took your draft over. And so what happens and what's been going on and what people may be reading about is there are a lot of lawsuits about overdraft right now against banks and credit unions and other financial institutions, because it's based on how people will handle that transaction and what the fees are and such like that.
Well, and it's one of those difficult things because no one wants to overdraft. Certainly no one wants to pay fees. But as a former banker myself, you look at it as the convenience. That you're not getting a check sent back, you're not having to deal with the embarrassment. That, yeah, you're going to have to pay a little bit extra, but you don't have any of the other things going on.
Absolutely. So it is a consumer, I believe, choice. So if I know, some people actually do it on purpose. Like they know, like their institution will pay it, and so they're willing to say, I'm going to pay the fee because I need to pay this today. Versus if I wait till tomorrow, the fee I actually may get from whoever you have to pay. Maybe it's your mortgage company, could be higher than the fee.
Sure.
And knowing that it got paid is easier. Or let's say you go to a merchant and then instead it gets gets paid versus it bounced and you got a fee from your financial institution and the merchant,
Right.
it's double the fee.
Right.
So those are some of the things that people need to just be aware of. There are plenty of ways that you can structure your accounts at most places where you don't get a fee.
Right, you can work around the system. I do that here at MSU and I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you have to know and ask your financial institution, what are the ways that I can protect my checking if I do go over the limit or over my balance? So can I have it come from a savings? Can I have it come from a line of credit, like maybe a credit card or another? A lot of places have loans that are set up specific to overdraft your checking and give you an extension that way.
Or if you have multiple accounts, multiple checking accounts, and that you don't get charged when that happens.
That is correct. We don't charge a fee for that. Some places do charge a fee, but you really need to know what your financial institution offers. So that will be something that you should ask. You also should ask, what order do they pay your stuff in? Do they pay first in, last in? We tend to pay so we get the most of your items paid if you're not going to have enough to cover them all. Some places process them biggest to last and or the order they come in. So you could end up with 1 fee or 10 fees based on how they order them.
Oh, yeah, that does make a big difference. Well, to find out more about how MSU-FCU can help you and their overdraft policies, you can log on to msufcu.org or stop into any one of their, it's 10 branch locations now because March just opened.
You got it.
10 branch locations. Thanks, April, for being here. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to In Her Shoes. We had a great show today.
It was so fun. I was just thinking about all the fun things we learned from Dr. Judi Brown Clark. I mean, I'm
I
just
love
working
her.
out with stilettos, obviously.
I mean, that's fun. I mean, I love dropping a shoe on Shelly's head. It was a great time for me. I'm sure it was for you too.
I was talking about wearing stilettos when I work out. I'm going to show up at my health club the next time you see me.
And stop pretending like you go to the health club.
I know.
That's so cute.
That is really funny. I was thinking about that the other day, that I should work out the cost per workout. That might
You
be
don't
a
wanna know
little
that.
scary.
I'm with you though. I tell you, that's not good.
It was
the one
really
thing
fun,
I
though.
do know is that you take care of your teeth.
I do.
So our dentist friends are very proud.
Yes, they didn't have to do any interventions on me whatsoever. Although I could give them a couple names. Oh, well, that's for a whole nother show. You know what I loved about Dr. Judi Brown Clark, though, is that she was so down to earth.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I would be wearing the medal
Right.
even now. I would be like, oh wait, did you want to see my medal? Hold on. I went over 10 hurdles. Look at my medal.
Right.
I mean, I would have it around all the time. Someone
hear
would say
someone say
something
medal?
about silver, and I'd be like, are you talking about my medal? I would say that. I really would.
That would be me, too. I mean, really, it would be me, too. I would have the love me wall. Seriously.
I think you do already. I've been to her house. There is a love me wall.
She has been. But I do want to really thank Dr. Judi Brown Clark. I want to thank Dr. Portnoy and Dr. Tu for being on today. I hope we didn't overwhelm them with our craziness and shenanigans. They were
knew.
two lovely ladies, weren't they? They were really great, doing
They
really great
really-
work out there in Okemos.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful, and they just are delightful and, just hardworking, and I wish them all the best in
Absolutely.
their practice.
And of course, MSU-FCU for our financial facts. Always learn a little bit every single time we sit down with them.
It's wonderful.
I'm so looking forward to next week.
Yes, fashion. Who doesn't like a little fashion? Bring on the
Yes.
shoes. Bring on Nadia Sellers, who is the owner of Okemos Modeling. And then our good friend Lauren H. will be with us.
Yeah, showing some of her designs, I'm sure. I'm wondering if Nadia is going to teach us the catwalk.
You know what?
That'd be great.
I mean, I already know it. Just kidding. I don't.
I think that'd be really
that
great.
that would be fun to see you trip and fall down the
Hey,
catwalk. wouldn't it?
I have the stealth walking skills of a... Well, anyway, we'll talk about that another time.
Absolutely.
But thanks for spending the time with us. Come back next week when we talk fashion. It's going to be a great time. You won't want to miss it. Go to In Her Shoes Television and like us on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter at InHerShoesTV.
Don't forget to visit the In Her Shoes webpage at inhershoestv.com.
Come and take a walk in her shoes.